Hello, and welcome back to my channel. You're listening to Videzra's Voice, where I share the good news of salvation. Today is Sunday, June 1st. It's the beginning of a new month, and I just pray God's richest blessing on your life. I hope that He will bring you favor and joy and abundance, abundance in wealth and health. So I'm reading through the Bible. I did it last year and then I'm doing it this year again. So a lot of the stories are stories that I've read before and I'm very familiar with. But I was in the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel 25 the other day, and I was reading the story about Abigail and David and Nabal. No, Abigail was married to Nabal. That wasn't his actual name or his given name, but the name Nabal ended up being given to him, and it means fool. No, let's go back a little bit. So Samuel had died, and I guess David needed to go somewhere with his people, and he needed some help in terms of food and just maybe shelter, I'm imagining, and all of that. So he sent word to Nabal, because Nabal really had resources, he was wealthy. And he sent word to Nabal, with all the respect and the honor. He's like, I salute you, and I just remind you of how I took care of your people, when they were with me and nothing was harmed while they were in my presence. And now I'm just asking for you to give me, I don't know if he was asking for food or for just like I said, he was asking, reaching out to him to ask him for help. Now Nabal was a very proud and arrogant man, so when he got the message from David's people, he was like, no. So the word got back to David, and David was like, what, are you serious? And so David was not pleased, and he was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to go and take charge and just do what I have to do. He intended to wipe out the whole community, Nabal and all his people, and that's what they were about to do. Now Nabal had a wife. Her name was Abigail, and the Bible does say that she was beautiful and intelligent. And so Abigail got the message. She heard that David came to Nabal, or sent message to Nabal, and Nabal shut them, and no, David is on the way to attack them. Of course, right away, as a woman and as an intelligent woman, she got into action. She was like, I have to make this right. So of course she cooked a whole feast. She really threw down the talk about cows and whatever and all the things that she did. And she was like, go before me, let's go and meet David before he actually comes here. And she was behind the army, right? And then, or the servant men, whoever went with her, and she met David halfway, and she greeted him with the utmost respect, and she said, my lord, like, my husband's a fool. That's literally what his name means. And I know that you sent word for him, and I know that he disrespected you or did not honor you, and I'm here to make that right. And see, I present to you all this food, and all of this can be yours, and you have access to that. Don't worry about it. And she spoke so well to him, right, that he was like, okay, you know what, because of you and your family and Nabal will be spared. And so they were spared. Abigail went home and she told Nabal what happened, and I don't know how she must have gone home to him. I don't know if she shouted at him. I don't know if she was just like, you see, you don't even have a sense. This is the man of God, and I'm just imagining that's how she went to Nabal, and the way whatever she said to Nabal stunned him. He was quiet. Now mind you, he was drunk at this time. He was just gallivanting, right? And when she spoke with him, he was so stunned he did not speak. And shortly after, I think they said a week after, he died. And when he died, and word got to David that Abigail's husband died, you know what David did? David sent for her to make her his wife. She must have left an awesome impression on him, just seeing her as a woman who will stand by her man because regardless of how foolish Nabal was, she really stood up for him, and she stood up for her people, and she was brave. She knew what David intended to do, but she knew she had to do whatever she could to save her people, and she did. And so David, once he realized that Nabal was past, and I like that he's honorable in, not going after her while she was still married, right? And he sent for her, and that's how they met. And I just found this story to be so fascinating but inspiring, and there's so many things that you can take away from it. And I want to know in the comments below, what's your takeaway? What's your takeaway on this story? How do you feel about this story? A lot of things pop out to me, and one of the things is that standing up for righteousness, or standing even when you feel fearful, or just go in the strength of the Lord, because I feel like Abigail went in the strength of the Lord. It was not just her strength, and she went and stood up. And even though the man who was beside her, or should have stood up for her and not allow her to have to do this, she did what she had to do, and I like that a lot. And I like that she still stuck by him. She could have left a long time ago, because if he is foolish and if he's a drunk and stuff like that, clearly she wasn't happy with the situation, but she never stepped out on him, as far as we saw in the Bible. And then I just like that David also had mercy, because she coming to him, he did not have to retreat. He did not have to pardon them. He could have pushed her aside, especially in those days where women's word or women's worth was not exactly, the greatest. It was really a man society, as far as I've read. So it was always the men being in front. So for a woman to come and do that, but the more and more I read the Bible, and more I see women who have done so much great stuff, and then that women have always been the backbone, or a strong tower. But anyways, this is what I wanted to present to you today. I trust that you will find something from it. If you have time, go into the book of Samuel chapter 25 and read it for yourself and see what the Lord is saying to you today. Thanks as always for listening, and until next time, stay blessed. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do. I do appreciate you being here, and bye.